My name is Cassidy Gabriel, and this is Dan Lauletta, and this is the Equalizer Soccer Post-Game Report. So Dan, we'll start with lineups. How do you feel about how players who maybe got the runaround today due to the international FIFA break did in this game?
Well, the number one was obviously Imani Dorsey, a first-round pick for Sky Blue FC, who was signed officially today as an international replacement player, national team replacement player, sorry. And I thought she had a solid game. She's quick. She got into the mix. She's told us afterwards that she was a little bit more hesitant than she really wished that she would be, but that will come with time in her first NWSL match. So I thought Dorsey was the main component for Sky Blue tonight, and I thought she did well. Michaela Abam came on also in the second half, and it wasn't for a lot of minutes, but I thought she showed brightly as well, Sky Blue tonight.
So like you said, some players that are new faces definitely did a good job and made a good appearance on the field. How do you feel about maybe some household names and how they did today? Shea Groom obviously getting a lot in the box, and Madison Tiernan, got her first start last week and definitely was very active in the box today. A little bit of finishing difficulty, but how do you feel about how maybe the household players that are settling into the starting 11 are doing?
Well, certainly tonight we saw that Shea Groom and Katie Johnson developed a really nice connection. I thought it was Sky Blue's most effective offensive match of the season. That's a little bit strange to say when you don't actually score a goal, but I thought they were all over the Spirit for a good portion of this game. I just wish Shea Groom would shoot the ball a little bit more. Got into the six a couple of times, and rather than just maybe try to take a toe poke and beat Aubrey Bledsoe, she maybe tried to be a little bit too fine, sent a couple balls back up to the top of the six or through the 18. So I think if Shea Groom can play the way she did tonight and actually take some shots, that can be very effective. And I love the fact that her and Johnson had a moment in the 90th minute or stoppage time when Johnson put Groom through. So after 90 minutes, they were still feeling it out there.
Great. And on the other side of the field, defensively, Sky Blue obviously gets their first shutout of the season, grabs a point, doubles their season points. Really exciting day on that front. How do you think defensively things went as a whole?
I think defensively they were okay. I think they did a lot of their domination through the midfield and in keeping the ball in their attacking third. But the big moment was the penalty. Whether it was a penalty or not, certainly nobody on Sky Blue seemed to think so, but Kaylin Sheridan up to the task, stopped Andy Sullivan. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck to get your shutout, and they were the only team in the league coming in that didn't have one. That stat is no more. So good save by Sheridan. And also interesting, after Sheridan made the save, to see how many Sky Blue players came up and were jumping all over Kaylin Sheridan. You would have thought that they just won the World Cup, but how excited they were about that. And then to go on and complete the shutout after that was good to see for Sky Blue.
Like you said, a lot of Sky Blue players really excited in that moment. How do you think this result as a whole, that save, a moment like that really changes the morale of the team, and especially heading out of this game and heading into our next game? Well,
the reaction certainly says that the morale is okay. Now what they have to do is they need to go get a win. They've played 10 matches. They haven't got a win. This was a really strong performance, but they were also playing the team that's only one spot ahead of them in the standings, and that team was also missing a lot of players. So next up is Saturday night, not tomorrow, but next Saturday, the 16th, in Orlando. Then they get a week off, and they play Portland in Portland. So it's one thing to dominate the Spirit, who are missing a lot of their top players. It's another thing entirely to be able to take it to Orlando and Portland.
And Dan, what do you think is the key to that game against Orlando? Obviously, a lot of good things happening on the ball today for Sky Blue, but still a lot of difficulty in only playing eighth place Washington Spirit. And like you said, they're missing players too. So what's the key to that game? A lot of end line coming back across the box, unanswered shots, maybe tying things up there. But what else can Sky Blue do to really dominate that game against Orlando?
Well, obviously, Orlando has Marta, who was injured and didn't play in the Bride's last game. But if Marta is back, there's not another player in this league, really in the world, that's quite like Marta. So Sky Blue kind of went through the Washington midfield fairly easily tonight, I thought, and you're not going to get a break like that with Marta. And even without her, you've got players like Alex Morgan, you've got Sydney LaRue. Their outside backs can get forward. So Orlando presents an entirely different set of circumstances defensively than the Spirit did tonight.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. This has been the Equalizer Post-Game Report.